Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, this interview is brought to you by www.employeeescapeplan.com. And Mr. Joe Nicasio helps business owners, entrepreneurs, and people who are committed to escaping their soul-sucking job to really get the power to create their reality. He takes a stand for your success. So if you are committed to figuring out your marketing challenges, figuring out what's kept you stuck, stopped, and breaking through, receiving your transformation, Joe Nicasio is your man. Go to www.employeeescapeplan.com and you can have a free consultation with Joe, a free conversation, and let him know that Chris sent you, and he'll help you get unstuck. Awesome, awesome dude. Now, Miss Kari Yasi. Kari is a speaker, intuitive coach, and healer. She has spent years healing herself physically, emotionally, and spiritually, and is now on the path to help others learn how to do the same. As an entrepreneur, Kari empowers women to turn their passion and purpose to profits beyond their limitations. Kari has helped many women break through their blocks to create freedom and success within their businesses and lives. Kari, welcome to the show.
Hello, my friend. It's always good to see your handsome face.
Yes.
Hello.
Yes, we did our interview a couple months back and just had so much fun. I was like, we got to get you on the 12-hour marathon. Let's do it.
Thrilled to be here. So
yes.
pumped up.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So thank you for being here. Our audience is stoked to receive the value and, all the breakthroughs that you've experienced, the wisdom, all that good stuff. And, we're going to dive into your journey a little bit more to get clear on how you became the person you are today. And before that, we're going to dive into the theme of today, which is the holiday season, okay? And it's not like just the typical, okay, like holiday season, like blah, blah, blah. So, really, what is it at a soul level that you represent and that you bring forth into the world during the holidays? Who is Kari during the holidays?
Great question. It's so interesting to me, holidays, because everyone's always talking about the stress, right? And the hustle and the bustle. And I'm like, dude, this is like one of my most exciting times of year because I can just sink into the season, right? Sink into the gratitude of the season, sink into like the connection of family. Kids are coming home from school, which means that there's more time with them. And there's usually a lot of parties to go to, a lot of like social connection that seems to happen maybe a little bit on a deeper level during the holiday season than any other time of year.
It's like juicy.
Easier.
It's juicy.
Yeah, you can have like that heart-to-heart connection a little bit easier, right? Like networking events throughout the year are awesome, but networking events during the holiday season, people are a little bit more open, So it's just a great opportunity to just have deeper heart-to-heart connections and remind people like, you get to decide. You get to decide if this is going to be stressful and overwhelming, and if you're going to fall into like all the shoulds of the season, or if you're going to create really healthy boundaries and enjoy every moment that you have, right? So it's a good reminder. It's a good reminder to celebrate and hang out,
Wow. So I really hear that you're taking the environment. The environment is, the world, the context, culture, society. They're going to do their own thing no matter what, like whether we want them to or not. And you are taking it upon yourself, being responsible for what's my come from, what's my context, what's my perspective in my response to how people show up around me. And you also empower others to do that same thing as well.
Absolutely, because I find that in life, right, whether it's in parenting or business or the holiday season, it's like if you're feeling stressed out and overwhelmed and frustrated, chances are it's because you're not listening to your own intuition, and you're not honoring who you are and what you desire for fulfillment, and you're going outside of yourself and listening to all the shoulds, right? Or trying to fulfill somebody else's expectations rather than just trusting that what you desire is actually what's best for you.
Wow. It's beautiful. This is going to be a great interview. I'm so excited. Okay. So let's catch our audience up on who you are and how you got to where you are today and what you're up to.
Yes. Well, that is such a fun story. I was always the stereotypical, like Midwestern, firstborn, type A, like follow the rules, do all the things, follow everyone else's expectations, right? All the things we're talking about, like really cultivated choices based around fear and based on obligation. And the truth of the matter is it got me fairly far in life, right? I graduated from college. I had an amazing corporate job. I got married, right? All the things. And I was miserable. And I was so miserable that I got so sick, I couldn't function. I had adrenal fatigue, which is like now becoming a thing, but it wasn't so popular that many years ago. And it rocked my world because I only knew how to hustle hard, which is why I'm super excited that later on you guys are talking about alignment is the new hustle, because absolutely, yes, you guys have to make sure you stay on for that later because it's so true. And I love everything about it. I love that that's being talked about. But I had like what looked like on paper success, but I wasn't aligned with who I am. And it really caused me to get so sick that I couldn't function. When you get that sick, you really start to question your life a little bit, you know, like when you can't work and when you can't get out of the house, and showering seems like the most like challenging action you could possibly take. You really start to question, like, what am I doing? And that really jump-started my spiritual journey. Now, I grew up in a very religious home. I grew up going to church all the time. But this was really the opportunity for me to explore the spiritual side of who I am, and also the emotionally balancing who I was as a human and as a woman and as a wife and at the time and as an entrepreneur and all the things, because I had always done things through, I'm so afraid of failing, or I'm so afraid I'm not going to make enough money, or I'm so afraid people are going to continue to judge me, or I'm so afraid that people are going to think I'm too much, right? Like I was never the kid that was told you're not enough. I was always the kid that was told you're too much, right? And I really built a life off of that belief that I was too much. And so I tried to get in the box and I tried, right? And then as I started my healing journey, an interesting thing happened. I started to rediscover who I am. Like I started to retap into everything that was already inside of me, right? Like I didn't learn anything new outside of myself necessarily, because I had followed those things. Do you know what I mean? Like I had followed those things. I knew those. I could tell you those stories and read those. You know what I mean? Like you could go to therapy and I could say all the right answers, and right. But it was uncovering and unlocking what already existed in myself. And here's what I learned: because I was so busy following and creating success from the outside, I had stopped listening to myself and I stopped trusting myself. So I stopped believing that I was intuitive. I stopped believing and relying on the wisdom that existed within me. And I started to seek outside of myself, which was just burning me out. Do you know what I'm saying? And so over the past 8 years of healing and having, you know, a lot of these like mind blowing revelations, like, wow, that makes sense. Like that's who I am. Okay. I am intuitive, and wow, like my story does impact others, and wow, I actually know what I'm talking about, right? When it comes to business or whatever it might be. And then you have kids, and that just flips you on your head all over again. Everything you thought you knew, you know nothing. Everything you thought you knew, it's like, that's a joke. But it's another trap. It's another trap of falling into the shoulds and into the fear. Like, I'm so afraid, right? I don't want to screw up my kid too bad. So like, I'm going to do what everyone else tells me to do because they, you know, anyway. So fast forward to now, and now the coolest thing is I get to show up as who I am. And even though people still say whatever they're going to say, you know, my mom still is like, why can't you just have normal hair? You know what I mean? Like people still say things, and I love my mama. I love my mom. Love my mom. But right, it doesn't have to impact me so strongly, right? I've created a really beautiful boundary between my belief and my knowing of who I am and how I make decisions, which comes from that alignment. It comes from that intuitive place that we all have. I'm not special in that way, right? We all have access to that. And then just creating a boundary from other people's fear. Because that's what it is. It's other people's fears that drive their expectations of you that cause a lot of this stress and struggle. We just get rid of it. We don't need it.
Let it go. Let it go.
So yes,
awesome.
That was interesting.
So you were too extra, too much, and you know that's what people said, right? And you're like, no, that's me. Like this is who I am. I'm owning it. And anything that you say, like that's great. That's your opinion, and you've really learned how to fortify your self belief, your own paradigm, and nurture and cultivate like who you are for yourself, regardless of what other people are saying around you, which is awesome. And you've also had challenges with like all the stress and pressure and things that they were like putting on you, like literally caused health challenges and breakdowns. And those were the times where you really found like who you are and started questioning like, why is this happening? So for our audience out there listening, like if you're going through times where you don't feel like things are in alignment, or you don't feel like, you're following your intuition, or you just feel like crap, whatever, right? Downward spiral. Don't wait till you hit the rock bottom to start going the other way.
Right. It's true. Or like if you start to have like a lot of physical ailments that just don't make sense, right? If you're like, oh, my shoulder always hurts and I don't know what. It's emotional, guys. It's emotional. By the time it gets that physical manifestation, some of my clients will come to me and be like, my shoulder's been bothering me forever. And I just doesn't, I've gone to every doctor and they can't tell me right. Or like, oh, I've always had this stomach issue, right? The physical is a manifestation of what's going on, like when there's not alignment emotionally or spiritually. And so if you're feeling that, definitely know that there is hope for you. You don't have to suffer for the rest of your life, or you don't have to be miserable or depressed or in pain or confused or lonely the rest of your life. You don't have to do that anymore. There's different choices that you can make. So it's very exciting.
So I love this because we're segueing into the zone of possibility. So Kari, what do you do specifically? How can you share with our audience like what you do and the types of results you're producing for people?
Yes. So results, transformation. I mean, straight up, because here's what I find. I typically work a lot with women, and I work with women that are feeling stressed. They're feeling overwhelmed. Mostly because they've already hit some level of success in their life. So whether it's their own business or career-wise, or even in their own health journey, whatever it is, they have had some goal that they have set that they have reached. And now they're ready to reach the next one. Again, whatever, maybe it's financial or business or personal, and they know they're hitting a block. And they know that they're feeling stressed, and they know that they're feeling overwhelmed. And they're trying to do all the things, right? It's all the rage these days, right? The journaling and the meditating and the essential oils and the Reiki and all the things. I love all those modalities, right? Yes. And the crystals, right? You see my like drinking the moon water, right? Like it's all the things, real thing, all the things. And but they're not getting the results. They're like, what's happening? Like, why is this why is this not happening? And so that's typically when they come to me and they say, listen, I'm motivated. I'm ready to do the work. I've tried all the things. I'm willing to consider the idea that whatever is blocking me is a limiting belief that I have, right? There's some mindset issue that is causing me to lack the clarity and lack the confidence that I want and that I need to get to the next level. Here's the other thing about the women. I mean, I work with men too, but really a lot of women that are dealing with this, right? They come to me, and this is how I was too, super serious. Because that's what they've been trained, right? Because fear has trained them to be super serious.
Yes.
I have purple and blue hair. I can't take myself too seriously anymore. I mean, you can't. I look like a clown, right? So, but they come to me very serious, and they come to me very structured and very ready to go. And they don't know what they're like. Is it a strategy that I'm missing, right? Because we love business strategy. I love business strategy. Yeah. But what happens is they come to me looking to get to the next level. They feel stuck. They're willing to do the work. They've already done some work because they've reached some pinnacle of success or some goal. And here's what we do. First and foremost, we do get a little woo-woo, guys. We do like some energetic clearing, right? We do see.
Love it. Love it.
Right? When I go along so well, right? I go in and like, we do some energetic, like, hey, I want to point this out really quick though. This is so important for me to say. Yes, I facilitate healing. Yes, I empower women to transform. Yes, I walk alongside of them on their journey. They do the work. If you guys aren't following me on Facebook yet, please do. But I wrote a post the other day about my clients, like, and the results that they get, whether it's a huge spike in income from like literally the day they sign up with me, or they just have like these magical, crazy things that happen. It's not because I'm a magical unicorn. I mean, I am a magical unicorn, but that's not why they're getting the results. They're getting the results because they are showing up for themselves. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, they are investing in themselves. They are allowing a healing to take place. And I will never take credit for that. And that's really important for me because as I share my process, people think that it's me. And I hold space for these women. My gifts, my talent is to hold space. My gift and my talent is to intuitively ask the tough questions that they can then go in and explore and dive in. I facilitate a journey, right? And we come up with strategies because I love strategy. Like, this is not all woo woo, like, let's just do the energy work, right? This is also about asking the tough questions to reevaluate any limiting beliefs that are coming up, asking the tough questions and holding space so you can gain clarity on who you are or what is it that you truly want. Because once you have that clarity, you're a lot more confident. You're confident in who you are. You're confident in what goals you're setting. You have so much more confidence because there's clarity that comes from within you, not with what some expert is telling you to do. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Like, this is not like, this is the magic formula. There is no magic formula. The magic formula is you just tapping into who you are and owning all of your beautiful pieces and loving them and loving every piece of who you are and letting that be your guide. Now, listen, I'm a coach. I'm a big believer. If you're a coach, you have a coach. I have coaches. People, I invest a lot of money into my coaches. People invest a lot of money into me as their coach. There is value in a coach, but the coach isn't going to do the work for you. The coach is going to facilitate and be able to ask the questions that most often you're not going to even be able to ask yourself in the beginning because it's a new path. You know what I mean? Like, you don't just hop in a car and start driving from, Boston to California if you're 12 years old and you don't even know where to put the key in the car. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's a process to this, right? There's a learning curve to this, but the healing comes from you.
Yeah.
And once there's that clarity and once there's that confidence, we intuitively tap in and kind of ask, like, listen, what do you want to create? Why do you want to create it? And this is why it ties in so beautifully to tonight's session, right? On alignment is the new hustle. It's such a beautiful tie into that. And it just becomes this opportunity to play and explore. So instead of trying to figure it out and trying to come up with a plan and trying to have the perfect strategies and this is going to work and we're going to take steps A, B, and C, and that's going to be the end result, period. That's a lot of pressure we put on ourselves. Holy cow. So much pressure. We get to still create strategies for A, B, and C, and we can still absolutely expect D, E, and F, and we have a goal, and we're going to hold that goal or that intention or that manifesting, right? Law of attraction, all the beautiful things, but we're going to do it with aligned action. And aligned action is always playful. It's always fun. It's always exciting. It's like, this feels right. This feels good. Let's see what happens. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, this is just an opportunity to live your life from an exploratory place. Because what happens when we explore? When we explore, cool stuff happens.
Yeah, it's like adventuring and curiosity and childlike wonder comes out.
Our creative juices start flowing. Once our creative juices start flowing, we start having new ideas, right? We start putting ourselves in different opportunities. We start connecting to people that we didn't expect to connect to because we're just open to limitless possibility. Once we set a plan in stone, that's hard. That's constricting. But when we set a goal and an expectation and we create a plan, but we approach it with that play and it's creative and limitless possibilities, amazing, way cooler, better stuff than you would have ever guessed happens.
So let's say people have a goal right now in the next week, the next 90 days, whatever. How can we start bringing that play and making it, creating aligned action? Like, yes, it's great to say play. It's great to say, okay, yeah, I'm gonna play. But like, what does that look like? How do we reinforce that commitment to make that happen?
Yeah, because we want to get things done. This is again, this is not like that we're gonna just sit in kumbaya all day and magic is gonna like drop down on it. Like, okay, listen, we got some places to go. Like, we wouldn't be here right now in conversation, right? If it was just all like la la land, right? So I do love from the whole law of attraction idea or manifestation, I do love visualization, right? And if anyone's not familiar with visualization, it doesn't have to take you an hour, it can take you a couple minutes, but I love visualization. When you think about your goal, every day, couple minutes, 30 seconds, 30 minutes, whatever you got, every day, you start with the visualization of that goal as if it already is in existence, right? But the most important things that people forget is that when they start thinking about that goal, they typically think about it still in the future, right? As opposed to if it happened right now, but also tying in the emotional piece. Not only how does it look, how does it feel? What is the feeling that I have it tied to that achievement, right? Is it excitement? Is it confidence? Is it being proud? Is it feeling safe? There's no right or wrong, right? But tying into the reason that goal is so important, right? Like everyone talks about their big why. That's cool. That's cool. I believe it. I'm down with it. But for this, the why is, why do I want this? And it's because it's how it's going to make you feel. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? Like it's going to make me feel confident. It's going to make me feel safe. It's going to make me feel secure. It's going to make me feel hopeful. It's going to make me feel whatever, right? Tap into that feeling. Show up every day in that feeling with that picture in your head. From that sense of feeling, as if it already is, right? I ask myself, and maybe I'll ask it out loud, maybe I'll be journaling, whatever it is. I'll ask in that moment, in that space, how do I show up today? How do I show up today? Because that gets my mind right? That gets my attitude right. That raises my vibe, right? And if I'm feeling kind of crappy and I'm having a down day when I'm like, yeah, I don't care. Like, I want that goal, but you know what I mean? Like, we're human. Some of us are unicorns, but we're still human, right? I'll do some higher vibe raising stuff, right? Like I'll bust out the essential oils, or I'll bust out the crystals, or, I'll bust out whatever modality I'm calling, but it's getting into that place first and asking, what do I need to do? How do I need to show up today? Who am I called to serve today? And here's like where the rubber meets the road, or like the woo meets the analytical, or, the intellectual, which is trusting your intuition. If a certain idea pops up, if a certain person happens to call you that day, right? If a certain idea about content for a post happens, if a certain opportunity comes up, embrace it and trust it to be part of the process. Does that make sense?
Yeah. And how do we know what is intuitively and divinely guided and what's just like another shiny object?
Ooh, I love that question. Because it's true. It's like, and I think that is why people fall into not doing this process, because it can easily turn into a shiny object, squirrel syndrome, right? And then nobody's getting anything done. And it's like, that doesn't make any sense, right? So here's the thing. When you tap into the goal you're setting, it's going to make you feel really good, right? In theory. If it doesn't, and it's more of a fear-based or like a should-based, you're going to feel that. And then you just readjust your goal, first and foremost. I mean, I think that's the first start to answering your question, is to really make sure that you understand why you're setting that goal. What do you really want out of it, right? So if the goal is $17,000 this week, cool. I don't care what the goal is. How is it going to make you feel? Why do you really want it? Is it security, right? Or is it a BS reason? Right. Do you know what I mean? Like and most of the time it's not, right? Most of the time there's this energy attached to it. But when you raise your vibration, right? So when you do some of the woo-woo stuff, you do the journaling, you do the meditating, you ask those questions, you can never be wrong because you're in that space. Here's when shiny object syndrome starts to come into play. Here's when squirrel syndrome starts to come into play. When we start to get afraid, when we stop trusting the process, when we start questioning, can I really have that thing? Am I really worthy enough to achieve this goal? Do I deserve this goal? Right? Am I allowed to feel this way, right? Like the emotion that's tied to it. When we start to tell ourselves those things, that's when we get like, holy crap, I got to get something done. I got to get something done. I got to do this. I got to do this, right? Like we get very constricted. Wow. Yeah. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But when we're opened up and we're in expansion, and this is a place of expansion and high vibration, when an opportunity comes to us, right, whatever it might be, an idea pops in our head, a person calls, all the examples, right? We wrote down we're going to post on social media 3 times, or we're working on content for our funnel, or whatever it is. Check in with yourself and ask, like, why am I doing this? Is it directly tied to my goal, first and foremost on paper? And if it isn't, done, easy peasy, right? But if it is tied to our goal, because it could get us to our goal, tap into it emotionally or energetically. And again, you don't have to be a female to do this. You don't even have to be super woo-woo to do this, right? Like you can just say, how do I want to feel how do I feel? Because that goal has already happened. And does this action, A, align with the goal on paper, and B, align with that emotion?
Simple.
We overcomplicate listen, I was the queen of overcomplicating. I was the girl who, like, if my schedule was double or triple booked because I had to go and do, I found self-worth and value in that. I am the queen of overcomplicating and things have to be hard. That's who. That's who. We can simplify this. And again, this isn't just the woo side. This is about creating a plan. Like I know if I want to sell out an event, I'm going to brainstorm all the ways that I can show people, but I'm going to creatively brainstorm like 100 ideas, 100 ideas of how I can sell at this event, 100 ideas. And then when I get into this space of really tapping into that goals already happened and how I feel and why I feel it, I'm going to look at that list and I'm going to see which one jumps out at me today. And I'm going to take action on that one today.
Wow. So I also hear a lot of awareness, a lot of practice with like, how are you actually feeling? Because a lot of people are just like, go, go, go. Not even that the shiny object is there, but like, who are you being? Are you being someone who's a go, go, go person so that shiny objects pop up? Or are you being someone who's aligned and connected and you're aware of that, you're present to that, you can like feel it in your body, it feels a certain way. And then you know, like if the action pops up, that someone calls you, whatever, like you know that because of where you're at, it's aligned. Yeah.
You know, I'm so glad you brought that up because I actually I run these quarterly biz detoxes, right? Yeah. And a lot of my clients get invited to them and my non-clients get invited to them. And the whole premise is that when you slow down and you step away and you do some of this inner work or you do some of this mindset work, it actually allows your business to speed up. It actually allows you to get better results faster than you ever have before. And that's exactly what happens. It's every event. Something magical happens. Somebody will have made the commitment, right, to go to an event like this. And you know what happens while they're at the event? They made money. Or they have an amazing brainstorm download of like the easiest, most fun, exciting thing for them that just blows their business out of their water, right? And so, but that's the thing. When the women who are coming to me, because they've reached a certain level of success, they're feeling stressed and they're feeling overwhelmed because they're afraid. I can't. Okay, I tell my daughter's 4. I tell her those words are not, she's not allowed to say the words I can't. I think can be challenging, they can be difficult. I can't is not in our vocabulary, right?
Nope.
But so she knows. The other day I accidentally said I can't. She goes, Mom, we don't say I can't. And I go, you're right. Like 4-year-old preach, girlfriend, right? But so they come to you and they're afraid to take the time to tap into the awareness because they feel like it's going to take them so long because kind of our culture has taught us that like, okay, if you're going to go do that woo woo stuff and you're going to go like sit in like la la land, and it's going to be so slow to discover who you are. And you're going to go take 5 years off to figure it out. And then maybe you'll make some money. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, no, my friend, like if you want to go to the next level, if you want to expand your business, if you want to expand your life, if you want to break through the health, maybe you've been hitting like a plateau, right? With like your weight loss or whatever it is. If you want to expand into those things, taking a step to just pause and sit and be will get you there so much faster. And it's also going to be so much more fun and so much more freeing that the outcome is going to be like mind blowing.
Got a question for you. How do you relate to like avoiding and repressing and like trying to contain and make emotions feel a certain way? Because like I know for me and a lot of the clients that I work with, like we want to be grateful. We have this like positive mindset where like I want reality to always 100% be positive, but like there is the fear that we deal with on a daily basis that pops up, you know. So how do you recommend that we handle that with the best possible way?
Yeah, I love that question because we are human, right? And it's realistic to have all sorts of things pop up. Fear, anger, limiting belief, whatever, right? And so the first thing that I tell people, and they think it's just like the craziest thing until they do it, and they're like, oh my gosh, that was the best idea you've ever had. I'm like, well, thanks. But
I'm full of them.
I got 1 or 2 of those floating around. But it's to honor how you feel. I had a client one day, she was like a VIP client, right? So she had full access to me and she texted me and she goes, I'm struggling today. I'm so disappointed. I'm so low vibe. I'm so angry today. I feel X, Y, or Z, right? And I said to her, hold the phone. I said, first and foremost, what if, again, we're in play mode. Play mode really is just like that exploratory, adventurous, curious, creative, like no strings attached, like show up open-hearted, right? I said, what if you just tested the idea of honoring yourself to be cranky today? You're cranky today, own it, And just honor the fact that you feel cranky. Stop blaming and shaming and guilting yourself, because then you're just adding layers. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, you're just getting yourself stuck, and you don't want to be stuck, but you don't want to fake it either. So you're in like this bad space, right? It's like, hold on. What if you just said, I'm cranky, and you just allowed yourself to be cranky with no limitations, no rules around it, no constrictions. You just allowed yourself to be cranky. Well, you want to know what happens 3 hours later? I got a text message from her. I can't believe it. I've gotten so much done. I feel so great. Because she didn't have all the other junk on top of the emotion. She just let herself sit in the emotion, and it moved by, right? We judge our perceived negative emotions. We judge them. We judge them hard. And it just keeps them around. It just keeps them. I mean, we could go into the deep end of like, the shadow work and all the things like that. But first and foremost, just allow them to be. Just honor how you feel. Do you know what I mean? Like, and not judge if it's a bad emotion or a negative emotion.
Yeah.
Ain't no one got time for that. Here's the second part though. Like, if you're already doing that, or if you're comfortable with that already, the next step, in my opinion, in that journey is when a negative emotion or perceived negative emotion comes up, or we find our egos trying to keep us small and constricted, or we're facing this fear, is to remember that our egos were designed to protect and keep us safe. Our ego is just doing its job. We don't run out into the middle of the street anymore, right? Because we know better, because we don't want to get run over. Well, that's how our ego functions for anything unknown and new. And when you step into expansion, and when you step into confidence, and you've got clarity of where you're going, and you're trusting yourself, and you're trusting the journey, oh my gosh, that is new. And your ego is like, I hear you saying that that's awesome, but I don't fully believe you. My job is to keep you safe. So I'm going to make sure you're scared. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, you're scared because that's the only way I, as your ego, know how to protect you.
Yeah.
And so our ego's not bad. It's doing its job.
It's a mechanism.
Right. Yeah. And so it's our job, it's our opportunity to say, listen, I hear you. I see you. Thank you for keeping me safe. I got this. I'm gonna release this now. I'm not gonna release you as my ego. Your ego is always gonna be there. You're always right. That's why we keep always having like new thoughts of fear or other doubts or whatever. Our ego is always going to be there. So this isn't about like breaking your ego or people say crazy things on the internet. Like,
finally, be done with your ego.
Right? No, people say all sorts of like whatever. Your ego's always gonna love on your ego. Your ego's doing its job to keep you safe. Like, love on your ego and say thank you. But I'm gonna release this one. I'm gonna step in this because yes, it's new, and yes, it's scary, and yes, we don't know what's gonna happen here, ego. But you know what? It's in a direction I'm going, and it's the direction that I want to be in, and it feels really expansive. So I'm going to release this thought, or I'm going to release this belief, or I'm going to release, whatever it is that's tied into that. Do you know what I'm saying? Yes. It's why when people are like, oh, I want to make a change, like I want to create a new habit, I'm working so hard, I can't believe I fell back into this old habit, like I want this new thing. Listen, all that is I'm not saying that you like where you're at, where you're trying to get over here. I'm not saying you're complacent or you're lazy or you failed, right? We all think we're failures, or that we backslid. No, your ego your ego won that time. Your ego said, this is what I know. This is safe. You might not like it, but I know it. So that's it. So you say, ego, I appreciate you trying to keep me safe. You do such a great job and I love you. But in this situation, I'm going to release that belief. And this new expansion, we're going to make this new expansion be our new normal. And you're going to like it. And your ego will. It'll learn like that this is safe and it's great until you're ready to expand again. And you're going to go through the whole same process again. It's all good.
Yeah. I also hear a lot of compassion and forgiveness for ourselves when we don't deal with ego effectively, when ego gets the best of us. What have you seen, your experience with that, your clients and stuff?
For myself, I mean, I was like, PhD in judgment, my friend. PhD in like a professional. You know what I'm saying? Like I was a professional. You could give me a compliment and I'd still feel. I mean, I was And that's why I'm so great at like identifying it and kind of joking around with it and helping clients release it, because I've been through everything you could possibly think of when it comes to like self-hatred or judgment, or, you know, there was a period when I was really sick that I felt very low and I thought very poorly of myself, right? And there was a lot of self-hatred, not even judgment, straight up hatred for myself, hardcore. And so to come back from that and to know that all it takes is like to honor and love yourself, to move through that and to forgive ourselves instead of judging ourselves, and to understand, oh my gosh, that's why I wasn't losing the weight. I didn't love myself. Or, oh my gosh, like how could I have gotten to the next level? I've depleted myself. Or, oh my gosh, like this makes total sense. Like I was so busy spending so much time and energy, like judging myself. Even though I could say I was forgiving myself, like look where my energy was. Of course, like, you know what I mean? Like, and then my clients, like, then they're able to start laughing. Like, this is how I know that they've really reached this breakthrough of like learning self-forgiveness and self-love through like the judgment and everything, and maybe self-hatred. It's because then they can kind of laugh about it. Like, that's ridiculous. You know, it's kind of like, I don't know if you're familiar with Byron Katie's Doing the Work, right? But it gets to a point, if you ever do her process, that it gets to a point where you're like asking these questions of like, is it true? You know, and you're like, that's like the most ridiculous, you know, you almost like laugh. And that's when you know, like, oh my gosh, if I can laugh about this instead of get like upset or mad or offended or like whatever, I've moved through this process. And I can almost guarantee you're going to feel lighter. You're going to feel more free. You're going to feel less weight on your shoulders. You're going to feel expansive, right? Like that pressure in your chest is just going to open up, and you're going to start to have like these really creative ideas come to you of whatever it is that you want to achieve. It's just going to, it all starts to flow versus stay stuck. So
that's beautiful. I love it. I love it. I love it. So how do our listeners, how do they really step into this world of play and like experience that play even more, even deeper levels? What are some other suggestions that we can take on and really like dive into that? Because it's like, I don't think we can talk about it enough. You know, I don't think we can talk about it too much. Like we could continue talking about it more and more and more and more, and we'd still have room to grow and develop in this capacity. So anything you have to share with us is absolutely valuable.
Yeah, you know, I find that, like you said, play is so big and it's so expansive and it's so freeing in every single area of our lives, that something I like to encourage people to do, because this is something you can do right now. This is something you can take with you and apply every single day. It doesn't take any time away from anything else. You don't have to like figure it out or whatever. Anytime you go to do something, right? Consciously ask yourself, and sometimes if you're new at this, like even set alarms on your phone a few times a day if you want to, or have sticky notes or whatever works for you, right? But like ask yourself, like, how am I choosing to approach this task? How am I choosing to approach this opportunity? How am I choosing to approach my time at the gym? How am I choosing to approach this meeting? Like, how am I, like, this is a great example. Like Chris and I, every time we talk, like we laugh and we joke around, because Chris, that's just his attitude. Like we both choose like how we're going to show up in that interaction. Right? It's not going to be, even though we talk about deep stuff, right? Or we talk about business stuff, we choose to show up like in an attitude of play, right? And so we're always choosing our attitude. So you can just ask yourself, like, how, you know, how am I going to make, I got to empty the dishwasher when I'm done here, right? So like, how am I going to choose to empty the dishwasher? Like, am I going to make a game of it, right? You can make anything a game. And if you're making something a game, it can't be too serious, right? Then you're in that play mode. Then your brain's like starts to think about things differently. It starts to view things differently. It's like, how can I gamify life? How can I gamify life? How can I gamify my business? How can I gamify my relationship? How can I gamify my parenting? Because that has saved my life. It is stressful. It is so stressful, right? Like, I have a lot on my plate, you know, in 2008. I mean, I have 2 kids. In 2018, I'm going to be in my very first fitness competition. I obviously run my business. Like, there's a lot on my plate. Like, how can I gamify all the things? And then, you know what happens? When I gamify, like cleaning the house for myself, my 2 and my 4-year-olds, they want to play. They want to start to clean the house. Like, when I gamify my business and people see the results that people get and how free people feel, because we all want to feel free. You know, we all want to feel secure and safe and free. They want to play in that game. They want to play in this game with me. Do you know what I mean? Like when I'm at the gym and people are all like I see the women that are like trudging along and they're doing what they're supposed to be doing because they want to and they need to, but it's like, oh my gosh. And then they see me like bebopping around acting a fool. Like they smile and you see their workouts like pick up. And you know what happens when their workouts pick up? Their results pick up.
Yep.
Do you know what I'm saying? So just gamify.
Wow.
And again, if this is like a newer like concept, like if you're really like where I was, super type A, super intellectual, super analytical, almost not believing that playing gets stuff done. Like, oh, y'all just playing all the time. We got to get stuff done. Like, I can say that because I was there. I feel you. Trust me. Trust yourself.
Yep.
Test it out. What do you have to lose by testing it, right? Like, just try it out. And just approach anything. Grocery shopping, I love grocery shopping. Grocery shopping is like, what percentage can I save or how fast can I do it? Or like, my kids will come with me. It's like, okay, which one of you can pick out like 5 bananas first or whatever. Who cares? Like, it's just fun. It's fun. Life is fun that way.
I love it. So can you give us more examples on business?
Yes.
Because like we want to know, how do we gamify business? How do we, I love what you said about like other people want to join. Other people are like seeing you having fun playing the game. So like what are some rules or like a context or a way we approach, playing the game so that other people want to join?
Yeah. So I love that you said that because I work with a lot of women that are like coaches and consultants. I work with a lot of network marketers, in a lot of different industries, right? And so a lot of the woo-woo people. And so typically when we think about business and we think about being successful or making X amount of money, first and foremost, we're not tied into why we want to make that amount of money, right? And so that's the first kind of like mistake we make, that we miss an opportunity to play. So tapping into that emotion first and foremost of like why you want that amount of clients, or why do you want that rank in your business, or why do you want that amount of money from an emotion, like how is it going to make you feel? And again, there's no right or wrong, but tapping into that first and foremost is going to make play a lot easier, just so you know right away. Here's the next thing. As business owners, we got to get it done, right? We got to reach out to people. We have to offer them cool things that sound really exciting. And so we create our to-do list.
Sounds like lists. So much fun.
I love lists. Again, like let's get it done. Like I love lists, but how are you not, I don't care about how are you, I mean, I do care about how you're approaching your list. Let me ask you, how are you writing your list? Are you writing your list? And I'm going to reach out to this person. I'm going to get this. Listen, the energy that you bring to anything is the energy that you bring to everything, right? So if you're writing your to-do list and you're being lame, you're not fun. This is for real. Like pick a colored pencil and write it in colored marker or whatever, or find like some paper that makes you happy, or jam out to like your favorite, like old school hip hop song, whatever it takes, like literally starting from the time you write your to-do list. I'm not playing, like I am playing. Like, right from Jump Street. I'm like so serious about this play stuff. Serious about play, my new motto. So when you're writing your to-do list, right, think about like play, enjoy it, right? So then it's like, we all have these tasks that we don't like to do, but we have to do, right? Like even the most successful people, and I totally believe in outsourcing, and I totally believe in staying in your lane of genius. And I totally believe that you are not meant to do everything. Although at some point you're probably going to have to, especially if you're starting out. But regardless, there's always something you have to do that you don't like to do, right? And so I love Brian Tracy's Eat the Frog, do that thing first. But again, how are you approaching that task? Are you approaching with like all right, I'm going to get it done, right? And there's nothing wrong. Again, there's no wrong or bad, but it's like, okay, I'm going to get this done. I'm going to get it done. I don't enjoy it, but it needs to be done. It's important to me for my business to reach my goal. Like you're so all up in your head. And people feel like, why are long, like emotional posts about business so important? Why are people like going in droves to certain coaches to sign up for them or going into certain programs? It's because they're tied into an emotion. And do you know that when that coach wrote that, do you think that they were like, all right, content's not really my thing, but I'm going to write this thing? Or are they saying, you know what? Content's not really my thing, but I'm going to rock out.
I'm going to rock this post.
and I am going to just allow myself to be as happy or as vulnerable or as whatever it is, like tapped in emotionally. People respond to that, even if it's your to-do list. Do you know what I mean? And same thing with like, if you're having a meeting with a potential consultant or client or JV partner, or you're not even sure where it's going to go, but it's another professional that you deeply desire to connect to. Like you and I did a long time ago. It's like, how am I going into that meeting? Am I going into it nervous? Am I going into it with expectations, which is different than a call to action, right? We always want to have a call to action, right? Like, of course, this is business, people. Like, call to action, sales, make the sale, like, you know, and make the ask. Like, of course, this is business. But with those things, think, how am I showing? How do I want that person to feel? How do I want Chris to feel during this interaction? I want Chris to have fun. I want Chris to remember me. I want Chris to be like, wow, we should do that again, right? Like, how do I want you to feel? Not about me, because, right, here's what happens. We get all nervous. We get into our own feelings. We get into our own agendas. I want to make the X amount, so you need to be my client. Like, we get into our own space. Even if we believe in the give, sell, right? Give, sell. Sure, we believe it, but we still get into our own emotions versus the other person's emotions. And we think that we can give value by giving content or free coaching or whatever it is, right? But really it comes from, how does that person feel at the end of the day? And that's where the play comes in, because if I'm focused on you feeling a certain kind of way, guess who has to feel that way first? It's girl. So does that make sense? Like, some ways that, like, you can really easily and quickly incorporate play that will literally change your business.
Yes. And I love everything you shared, and I want to, like, supercharge it. For me, I know it's been challenging I get some information, I get this wisdom that Kari just shared with us, right? And, like, implementing it is another story, right? Like, ladies and gentlemen, you're hearing the gold right now. What are you going to do with it? Okay. So something that you can do to really, like, hold yourself accountable to like step into this new way of being, because, like, Kari had been like type A, go, drive. She had to become this new person who played. So something that you can do, something that I've done, is find people who are, like, committed listeners, who are committed to your success, and let them know that this is who you are. Like, you used to be this person in the past. Here's, like, the impact that it had on you, and you're not committed to that anymore. And you're this new person who shows up in fun and play, and you care about what other people, you know, how they feel and the interaction of that. And that's who you're going to be in your interactions moving forward. And do that with, like, 3-5 people. You know, create a new experience of yourself, and have that live in other people's listening of you, their relationship of you, how they perceive you. And the more times you do that, the stronger the new identity with this new way of being, of playing and having fun. So if you want to supercharge all the amazing stuff that Kari just said, do that. Share it with your coach, a partner, whoever, right? Someone who's, like, really got your back and will hold you to it and hold you accountable to it. And then you can really set yourself on fire and have even more fun.
Even more fun. And I'll tell you, when you found those people, if randomly you're getting, like, Voxers or texts or whatever from those people, and they're telling you all these awesome things about their life because they know you're going to celebrate with them, and that you can do the same thing with them, and it's not braggy, and they're going to celebrate with you, that's how you know you've supercharged and found those people. 1,000%.
Ooh, I love that. That was beautiful. Beautiful. So, Kari, let's begin wrapping up this gold and put a nice bow on it, and give people some actions to take to integrate more fun and play, and, break through the fear, succeed more in business and life. We covered a lot of different things in this, but, really let's drive it home. It's beautiful. Beautiful interview.
Yes, thank you. It's always such a joy to spend time with you. I think that the best advice I can give somebody is to really believe that they are perfectly whole. They're not too much, and they're not enough. Wow. And if you can start to incorporate that into your daily life, again, whether it's through other people or post notes or voice memos or whatever it is you need to tell yourself, like, if you can start there, you can move into this play. Wow. Because you're not too much, and you're not enough. You are amazing. And you wouldn't be listening to this if you weren't. So,
amen.
There.
Awesome. So, what are the plans for 2018 for you? We'll cover that. Yeah.
2018 is, like, already amazing. I am currently booking up my speaking calendar, running all these workshops, and all. You guys know I like to speak and host and facilitate and all things. So I am currently booking that up. I am currently holding space and opening up a few more of my one-on-one slots, and working on a few fun projects that might involve, like, helping with some hip hop shows and doing some fun things.
So cool.
fun things. Yeah.
So cool. That's exciting. And I hear like there's total play in there, you know, like you're getting in alignment with that inner child and just like Kari's unleashing on the world.
Watch out. Yes. It was so much fun.
Seriously.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that's beautiful. So how do people stay connected with you and what do you want them to do next?
Yes. So people staying connected with me. I have to be really honest. I just love my Facebook. I love connecting to people on Facebook because then that way they can share, I can share successes with them and vice versa. So connecting with me there is beautiful right now. And the other opportunity is that I am opening up spaces. So if somebody is listening to this, like, oh my gosh, this is what I want. This is maybe I'm ready for it, maybe I'm not, but this is what I crave. I want people directly to email me. I would love to hear from people, regardless of whether they're ready to work with me or not. I personally reply to every single email that I get. And so I want people to email and tell me, what takeaways they got from this interview or what things they've been able to implement from this or what challenges they've faced in trying to implement, right? Or if they're interested in exploring further working together or all the things. I want people to email me directly so that I can start to get to know them and build more of a relationship with them.
Oh my gosh. Beautiful. Ladies and gentlemen, take action on that. And Kari, what's your email?
It's super complicated, not at all. It's Kari@kariyasi.com. So I don't know if we can pop it up here or I'll put it in the comments maybe because it's KariYasi.com. Just my name. Same thing with my Facebook. Just my name. All my social media, everything, my Snap, my Twitter, my Insta, it's all my name.
Beautiful. So easy. I love it. Okay, cool. So this interview is amazing. Like I had so much fun and you really brought like what you are teaching people to this interview, and I really appreciate and acknowledge you for being the work, embodying what you're teaching people. And I'm excited to have you on later as well for the alignment, and alignment is the new hustle. I'll be happy to have you in there, and keep up the amazing work and keep doing what you're doing because you're adding so much light and love to the world, and you're a superstar, Kari.
Thank you, Chris. As are you. I look forward to talking to you soon.
Awesome. Have a great day.
Thanks. Bye, guys.